Today, I wanted to talk to you about 3 simple ways you can get your kid to open up and share with you what's really going on so you can actually help them, right? I think we all want to do that. We want to help them be the best version of themselves. And I think so many of us get frustrated when we feel like we can't be or we aren't being an effective parent with our teenagers. So there's 3 things I want to share today that you can start right away, and they're really a game changer. Okay, number 1 is I want you to have a calm tone in your voice. I cannot emphasize enough how important this is. And it's probably the number 1 step most of my clients like to skip because it seems like it's not important, but it is. Right? If we start a conversation with our teenager, right, we see that they're not doing well in school, or their room looks like a pigsty, or they're being disrespectful, and we're feeling irritated or annoyed or angry or frustrated. As soon as we start talking to our son or daughter about whatever's bugging us, if we're feeling that way, they feel that in an instant. And it immediately shuts the conversation down. They don't want to talk to us when they know that we're upset or annoyed with them or irritated with them or disappointed in them. And so if you just slow yourself down when you want to talk to your child, right? Resist that urge to talk to them the second that their behavior is bugging you or driving you nuts. Just to take a few moments. It can be as simple as just take a few breaths just to kind of reset your nervous system so you're not exuding disappointment or frustration or irritation. And then start your conversation with your child. I'm telling you, this is probably the most overlooked thing that we do as parents. And it is the most important thing when you want to have a conversation with your child, to talk about whatever is worrying you or bothering you and have a good outcome in the end. So that's the first step, is figuring out how to have a calm tone. Oh, and for those of you who think, well, I'm always calm in a conversation, I'm not a yeller, this includes you too. Because what I find with my clients who aren't yellers, they tend to have really high expectations. And when our expectations aren't met, the number 1 emotion that comes up inside of us as parents is disappointment. And when we're disappointed in our kids and we go and try to have a conversation with them to help them, again, it immediately shuts down the conversation. They're going to start arguing with you, or they're going to roll your eyes or pay lip service or go to their room and slam the door, right? Any one of those things, because they can feel that you're disappointed in them and they don't want to feel that. Feels awful. I mean, think about it. I'm sure you wouldn't want to feel that either from somebody you really love and care about. So that's number 1. The second simple step you can do is when you start your conversation, start it with curiosity. This is what I mean. I think so many of us naturally assume that we know why our kids are doing what they're doing, right? So let's say they've got missing assignments, and we just naturally assume, well, that's because you're so lazy and you're gaming all the time. I think those exact words came out of my mouth at one point when my kids were teenagers, right? So we make these assumptions or interpretations as to why things are the way they are, right? We know exactly why their room's a mess, or they are in a fight with their friends, or they're being disrespectful. And so the simplest trick that I could pass on to you in this quick video is whatever is concerning you or bothering you, frustrating you, disappointing you, whatever it is to take what you want to say and change it into a what question. So let's say, for example, they're missing a bunch of assignments. You go into their school portal and you see this. So instead of starting the conversation, like, what's going on? You're missing all these assignments. This is your responsibility. You got to get off your phone and start doing your homework. And that's it. No social media until your homework's done. I think those exact words might have come out of my mouth at some point. Instead, figure out how you can ask that as a what question in a curious way. Like, hey, I noticed you're missing some assignments. What's going on? Like, what's the struggle here? And ask it in a question instead of telling them what they should do or taking things away immediately as your go-to solution. Because I think if you think about it, ask yourself, how's that working? It's not working very well. So try this instead. Let's say they're having trouble getting to school on the time, getting up and ready and out the door and to school on time in the morning. That's a super common one I think so many of us struggle with. Instead of commenting on it, like ask a question. Seems like you're really having trouble getting to school on time. What's going on? What seems to be stopping you? Okay, so change it into a question and really try to be curious. Try to pretend you don't know the answer. Now, I know you probably do. Most of us have a lot of wisdom and we know how to solve the problem immediately. But our teenagers, they want to solve their own problems now. I'm sure you've experienced this while you're trying to parent them now that they're a teenager. They don't love your advice. They want to figure things out for themselves. But that doesn't mean we can't still guide them and teach them. We can. We just have to talk to them in a different way so that they're willing to engage in a conversation with us and maybe even listen to our advice. But that has to happen after, they've put their defenses down. So the first strategy was get a calm tone. The second was a curious question. And the third, another hard one, is notice when you're lecturing. Teenagers don't like to be lectured to. Plus, we want to engage them in a conversation. We want to have a conversation with them, right? One of the most common things clients come to me with is, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do to get my teenager to talk to me and open up and tell me what's going on. And I so badly want to help them. So when you want to, you gotta notice when you're lecturing and hold yourself back. And instead of lecturing, engage them in a conversation, right? So you could say, let's say it's about getting to school on time. And you ask, what's stopping them? And they start telling you, oh, I'm just so tired and I lose track of time, or whatever they say. Again, resist offering your solution here and ask them, well, what might you do differently tomorrow morning so that we could try something different and see if you end up being able to get to school on time and it goes smoother, right? Or if they're missing a bunch of assignments, just say, God, that's gotta be really tough and stressful. I'd imagine you feel a lot of pressure when you have all these assignments missing. What are your thoughts on what to do about that? How might you solve for that, right? What can you do about it? Now, I know you have your wisdom and your sage advice. I know I did. But you got to resist offering that until they're ready to hear it. So after doing these three things, you can say, hey, would you like some suggestions on maybe what you can do differently next time to, create a more efficient morning or to get those assignments done? But you want to catch yourself when you're lecturing and really slow yourself down and try to get them to problem solve things, think through it themselves in their own mind of what they could be doing differently to address whatever's worrying you or concerning you. So those are three simple strategies you can start doing today. right? Get a calm tone going before you start the conversation. Turn whatever you want to talk about into a what question, really from a place of being curious about what's going through their mind. And then lastly is just catching yourself if you're in a lecture and instead really trying to engage them in a conversation. If you're feeling stuck, like I don't even know how to do that, please help. A really great place to start is to download my guide, 5 Questions That Get Teens Talking. There's examples, there's 5 great questions in there you can do with real life examples of how to use them. And you can always just like zip me an email if you have a question or you get stuck or anything like that. Also, if you want to learn more strategies, more tools, go check out my website. There's so much free information on there that really can help you. You can go search by whatever is concerning you. There's classes on there, there's blogs, there's podcasts, like whichever way you like to consume information. And also go subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm going to be on here helping you guys. I'm going to try to come on every week and help you guys with some new strategies or approaches in parenting. And last but not least, like if you're ready for my help, let's have a private conversation and talk about what's going on in your home, and I'll help you create a plan on how to get out of it and get things going the way you want. So that's what I have for you today. Just thinking about you guys, just know if you're listening to this and you've made it to the end, that you clearly are a really good parent, trying your very best. I mean, you're here with the intention of learning and trying new things. And just take a moment, be grateful for that, be proud of yourself, and know that whatever is going on in your home, it's fixable because you've got a good kid at heart. They're maybe just struggling with some behaviors right now. All right, I know this parenting thing is hard. I'm right there with you, and I hope to connect with you soon. Bye-bye.